Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm doing another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending February 5th, 2012. And anyway, as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we're going to be taking a look at this week has to do with EverQuest, and that's EverQuest 1 and not EverQuest 2. The news is that EQ1 will officially be going free to play sometime in March. It's the biggest news this week, and I'm actually kind of excited. But this shouldn't really come as a big surprise because EQ2 already went free to play quite a while ago, and it's a newer game actually. It was a bit odd to see EQ2 go free to play before EQ1 went free to play because I guess EQ1 was more popular than EQ2 perhaps. And actually, EverQuest 1 was actually the second MMORPG I've ever played. My first MMORPG I've ever played back in like 1999 was Ultima Online, and then I jumped right into EverQuest back in like 2001 with the launch of the Ruins of Kunark expansion. But anyway guys, the free-to-play version of EverQuest 1, again, it'll be launching sometime in March, and it will have some restrictions, the same way EQ2 has restrictions. However, players will have access to the game's full 17 expansion packs, and yes, you heard that right. The game has enjoyed 17 independent expansion packs since launch. Those are all box copies you can actually buy in the store. So the game had a ton of expansions. Free-to-play users will have access to all those expansions, and the limitations really revolve around the game's playable races and classes. Free users can only play 4 races and 4 classes, with some restrictions on trade and how much items you can hold and things of that nature. Though the restrictions aren't that bad, and I'm sure Sony will loosen up on those restrictions later on as well. And the video in the background is for the 18th expansion, Veil of Valaris. But I'm looking forward to a free-to-play EQ1. Even though compared to newer games, the graphics are kinda deuce. The next bit of news, guys, comes on January 31st, and it's from Maestia, a game that was available through Big Point, but now the Big Point version of the game is shutting down, and it is relaunching through A La Playa. Unfortunately, like the Big Point version, the A La Playa version of Maestia, or Maestia, however you say it, will also be EU only. The game is still blocking North American IPs, and only those in EU can play Maestia, which is why I haven't done a first look for the game quite yet. The relaunched version of Maestia through A La Playa will include character transfers from the old version of the game, so current players of the game won't really lose anything. It still just kind of sucks that the game is blocking North American IPs. I mean, it really makes no sense from their standpoint to block North American IPs. The way I see it, the more players on one server, the better, especially since the game isn't even out in North America. Like, there's no reason to limit your player base. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And this is not just for Maestia. I think any game that really restricts IPs like that is just being silly. Next up, on February 2nd, the 3D MMOFPS game Tribes Ascend previews its upcoming update. Now, the game is still in closed beta, so not everyone can quite play Tribes Ascend quite yet, but the game will eventually release. But with this update, the game's playable classes are actually collapsing from 12 to 9. However, to make up for that, each of the playable classes will be more customizable now, and new players will access the 3 playable classes at the start instead of just 1. So now each of the 9 playable classes will have much more depth to them than the game's 12 classes it had before. On top of the new class customizations, individual weapons can also be customized now, and the game will have a new UI as well to make the game's interface more polished. And for those that didn't know, the game is still scheduled to release sometime in 2012. Hi-Rez Studios has not specified exactly when though. It's still in beta at the moment. Next up, on February 2nd, Crossfire introduces a brand new game mode called Hero Mode X, and as you can see, Crossfire is a 3D MMOFPS game. The mode lets players control one of 2 new characters, Xeno, an electric alien, or Commando, who dual wields knives. The new mode boasts 3 new ribbons for players to earn, and it includes 2 maps, mansions and rooftops. The update also introduces 6 new weapons to the game, which should keep things a bit more varied. And again, this update actually launched on February 2nd, 2012. And the video in the background is the official trailer for the Crossfire Hero Mode X update. Personally, when I play an FPS game, I prefer just simple deathmatch or demolition, but you know what? The more game modes, the better. The next bit of news, guys, is from Nexon, and it's about their latest event/giveaway. Now, I don't usually mention giveaways or events in these news videos, but this particular giveaway really caught my eye, mainly because it's actually pretty awesome. The promotion is called Hat Trick, where Nexon will be giving away tons of prizes to players who reach level 20 in 3 of Nexon's games: Dragon Nest, Dungeon Fighter Online, and Vindictus. Those who have or get to level 20 characters in these games by March 15th are eligible to win tons of in-game prizes and are automatically entered into a drawing to win an Alienware or a desktop PC and a 2012 BMW M3. So Nexon is giving away a BMW. That is pretty legit. If you already have level 20 characters in all 3 games, you should be good to go. Just enter on their website. Next up, on February 2nd, Descent, the latest expansion pack to Perfect World, has officially been announced. The update is scheduled to launch on February 15th and is aimed towards higher level players, as it introduced a new zone Moray for players above level 95. New area includes new quest hubs for 2 new dungeons. Also included with the update are new tier sets, quests, weapons, and more. And on top of this, all the game's territory maps will be reset on February 14th, with the territory maps being reset every 6 months from now on. Probably the biggest aspect of this update though are new skills for each of the game's playable classes, so look forward to those. Next up, also on February 2nd, Brick Force announced its closed beta date, which is on February 28th. and is published and developed by a new company called Infernum. The game, as you can see, features Roblox-style graphics, as well as maybe Minecraft-esque graphics, with the game designed to be a sandbox shooter, which actually sounds pretty interesting. The game is set to release for browser, iOS, and Android, so yeah, it is a browser-based game, though the graphics aren't awful for a browser-based title. The game will begin its closed beta testing on February 28th, with open beta following shortly afterwards, sometime in spring. But sandbox-style shooter does sound pretty interesting, but we'll see how it works. The game will be available in both North America and Europe. Well guys, that's it for MMO news, but as for upcoming games, we have nothing. But as for recently launched titles, we have 2 games to look at. Repulse is one of them. The game went from open beta to full release on February 1st, and the game is by Area Games, and it used to be called Genesis AD, but now it's called Repulse. The launch includes the addition of 4 new maps, along with multiple new game modes, as well as several new items. With the full release, the game's cash app is also open for business. Next and last thing we're going to be taking a look at this week, guys, is Mythos Global from T3 Fun. The game begins its open beta on February 2nd, 2012. The game is available to both EU and North American users, but some certain areas are still IP blocked, like Belarus, Estonia, Georgia, Armenia, and a few other countries, which is a bit odd considering the game is called Mythos Global. And as you can see from the gameplay video in the background, it's a Diablo-esque style action MMORPG. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending February 5th, 2012. Now if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. And if you want to discuss anything in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway guys, this is Omer, signing off. Such a cheesy outro, but I do it anyway.